Embarrassment is the number one thing that's holding you back in life. You need to understand this, okay? When I stopped being embarrassed of anything, my life completely changed because this was the only time I felt free to be my authentic self, to do whatever I want and to live my life the way I want. Only when I stopped being embarrassed that was possible. And in this video, we're going to talk about how you can do the same. First of all, you need to understand that embarrassment is basically made up. Embarrassment is not real. Embarrassment only exists because we think it does, okay? There's no rule that says that some things are embarrassing and some things aren't embarrassing. What one person finds embarrassing, another person doesn't even care about at all. You can think it's embarrassing to fall down on the street in front of a huge crowd, and another person might think it's funny or it's sad. There's no rule for embarrassment because we decide what's embarrassing, okay? We decide what's embarrassing. And when we decide that nothing is embarrassing, nothing will be embarrassing anymore. It's that easy. I know that sounds crazy, but it's that easy. Every time when I felt that feeling of embarrassment come over me, I stopped myself and I told myself, no, it's not embarrassing. I decide now that it's not embarrassing, and this feeling of embarrassment just disappeared because I decide what's embarrassing and what's not. You really need to realize that you decide what's embarrassing, and the same way you decided that this one thing is embarrassing, you can also decide that the same thing is not embarrassing anymore, okay? You also need to understand that embarrassment is actually the fear of rejection and of judgment. So most of the time you don't even feel embarrassed because you think what you're doing is embarrassing, but because you are afraid that other people won't like you anymore if you do this thing. And that's when you stop being your authentic self, because you are so afraid of losing the people around you. But you need to understand, you really need to understand that people who reject you because of small and meaningless things never even liked you in the first place, okay? They never even liked you, because why should someone stop liking you because you started posting on TikTok, because you started following your dreams, because you started that business, because you said something embarrassing, because you posted one embarrassing picture of you? Why should someone who really genuinely likes you stop liking you because of those random things? Can you tell me? People who really like you will like you no matter what you do, okay? And people who don't like you also won't like you no matter what you do. I can give you one example of my own life. When I started my social media, I started social media 2 years ago, I think, on my German account. This English account is very new, but I started social media on my German account a few years ago. I almost didn't start the account because I was so afraid that people who know me would think I'm embarrassing, would think I'm cringe, would stop being friends with me because I post on social media. It almost held me back of posting. The fear of rejection almost held me back of posting. But then I thought to myself, when someone rejects me or thinks I'm cringe or thinks I'm embarrassing because I'm posting harmless videos on social media, I don't need that person. I don't need people who will judge me because I do harmless things, because I follow my dreams, I do what I want to do. When people judge me because I do things that I like, I don't need those people, okay? And you don't need those people either. You can't control it anyway. Someone who wants to judge you will judge you and will find something to judge you for no matter what you do, okay? The next thing that you need to understand is that when you always feel embarrassed, you give other people the power to decide over your life. There's that one quote that I love that says, "It's better to be cringed in someone else's mind than caged in your own." Mic drop. Let that quote sink in, okay? Just think about it. It is so true. It's so much better to be cringed in someone else's mind than caged in your own. Because why should you stop living your life the way you want to live it? Do the things you want to do because you are afraid what some random ass people will think of you. What the hell? What the hell? Really? This makes no sense at all, that you create a smaller life for yourself just to be digestible for other people. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that, because when you're 80 years old, sitting there being sad that your life didn't turn out the way you wanted it to because you were afraid of being judged by others, those people you were afraid of being judged by won't be there for you, okay? You will be there alone. So stop letting random ass people who don't even like you decide how you live your life. Live your life the way you want. Do the things the way you want to do them. No matter if anyone thinks you're cringe, you're weird, you're whatever. Because at the end of the day, you will be the only one responsible and regretting it if your life didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. What also comes with that is that you need to understand that people only have as much power over you as you give them. Of course, if you're sitting at home, always worrying about what other people might think of you, holding yourself back, not doing the things you like because you're so afraid that other people might think you're cringe, of course, those people have power over you and your life because you give them the power by doing those things. You give other people the power by constantly worrying about what they think, by not doing the things you love because you are afraid what they might think. You give other people the power over your life. And the same way you give them the power, you can also take the power away from them. Because the moment you stop wasting your precious time worrying what others think of you and holding your own life back just to be digestible for others, is the moment that you take the power back. And that's also the moment that you start to realize that other people were never holding you back. Your fear of their opinion was. Also, very often people project their own insecurities. People often judge others because of something they secretly wish they had the confidence to do it themselves. If I judge you for laughing loud on the street and having fun, and I think, oh my god, that's so embarrassing, that's so cringe, it's probably because I don't allow myself to do that. I'm afraid to show that side of me in public. If someone judges you because you post videos on social media, it's probably because they wish they had the confidence to do the same thing, but they just don't. And instead of admitting, I wish I could do that too, or working on their confidence to one day have that confidence to post on social media, it's easier to them to just judge another person and say, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing, because that makes them feel better about themselves. So in conclusion, the way people react to you often says more about them than it says about you. And the last thing I want to say in this video is that the truly embarrassing people are the ones who find everything embarrassing. In my opinion, really nothing is embarrassing except people that find everything embarrassing. You just need to imagine those people, how miserable they are, sitting at home and judging others. They're sitting at home not doing anything with their lives, watching other people, how weird is that, and just judging them and saying, oh my gosh, what they do is so cringe. How can she post on social media? She only has 2 followers. How can she do that? Did you see what she wore? Did you hear what she said? That's so cringe. That is truly the only thing that's embarrassing, being a person who always judges everyone. And that's it for today's video. I really hope it was helpful. I really hope I could help you to stop being embarrassed of anything and start living your life according to your own values and to your own desires. That was my goal with that video. And I would say, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.